Hello, super sentence stackers. Welcome to the writing classroom. I'm so glad you found me here. We are going to weave wonderful words together. We're going to build sentences, and our writing is going to be sharp and vivid and jump off the page. And I'm your writing teacher, and I'm here to help you. Together, in unison, we are the super sentence stackers. Okay, my name is Mrs. Considine and I'm here to help you. I'm going to guide you, give you advice, and we're going to put the focus on words. Words are going to be really important today. And what do I need you to do? Well, I need you to think. I need you to gather and collect. And this thinking and gathering and getting ready to write is so important. Really good writers are always on the lookout from words in reading and words in their real life. And the more we collect, the more we can play with and we can choose so that our writing is bright and exciting. Okay, before we get going, Mrs. C wants to celebrate a piece of work from yesterday. And there's a lovely piece here written for Chunk 3 for our film. I'm just going to read it out. And the girl I am celebrating is Amelia Bedford, and she's 8 years old. I'm just going to have a little read of this. Here we go. Oh, my pen doesn't want to work today. What is it like? Come on, pen. Right, I'll read it to you and you can have a listen. She was filled with joy as she gently squeezed little Bo and gave him a cuddle. And as the years went by, he grew into a child. And at the market, he felt really excited, so he ran away. His mother dropped her shopping bag onto the ground and frantically ran after him. Don't think I haven't noticed there, Amelia, your wonderful, really wonderful adverb, frantically. It is so interesting and exciting and has made me think, I wish I'd chosen that in my writing. Okay, everybody, I'm going to give you a bit of advice now, and it's this. Good word collectors make great writers. And what is today's film? Do we know what it is? Well, it's a really adorable, very cute film called Mouse for Sale. And here is the mouse. His name is Snickers. Snickers the mouse. And he's going to be the central character in our story today. If you look in the link below, you'll see in the description, you can click on it and find the film easily. Also in the description below is a choose a chunk sheet. And I'm going to tell you now which chunk I'm going to have a go at. I think I'm going to choose chunk 2, Look at Me. And this is a part where Snickers is trying to grab the attention of anybody who comes to the pets shop. Okay, now, not yet, but soon, I want you to go and watch and enjoy the whole film. And then you've got an important job to do. You are going to choose a chunk. You can choose any part from the film, and Mrs. Considine has cut them up into small time chunks. I'm never going to ask you to write the story for the whole film, just one part. When you've chosen that plot point, I need you to write within those time boundaries because some of you are writing community stories with your friends at school and some of you are joining up with others. I like to read all the separate chunks and join them together till they make one complete, whole, beautiful, cohesive story because I really do love reading your writing. Okay, so really important, the rules for today. You must always write your name on your piece of paper that you're submitting. So my name is Mrs. Considine. Always tell me your age. That's important. And then I like to know what chunk you're writing, and today I'm writing chunk 2. What happens in Super Sentence Stackers is I task you to write 9 sentences for your chunk. But it's not only that. I then challenge you to do 3 distinct things in your writing. But what is going to be really useful for you now under my guidance is to get a piece of paper, a pencil or a pen, and we are going to together be jotters. You're going to jot the words I'm thinking of because you might get some ideas from that language. There might be words there that you can borrow. And we're going to work in harmony as word collectors because all of this word gathering will help us down the line. Okay, so I'd like you to find a piece of paper, a pencil or a pen, get comfy, and I'd like us to do some togetherness writing. Okay, we are going to jot ideas, words, phrases, and we always do some thesaurus thinking where we gather synonyms in the same family. Right, so what are today's challenges? As I introduce them, you're going to look inside my mind and I'm going to talk out loud my thinking as I craft and construct the writing. So, today's challenges. First thing, coming from the writing rainbow, I'd like us to have a go at writing a complex sentence. It might be worth making a little jot of that. A complex sentence, and we are going to do this in a particular way. We're going to include the word but. So I'm going to be on the lookout for a but sentence. The next thing we're going to have a go at from the techniques of writing, the boomtastics, is we're going to have a go at repetition for effect. So I'm going to make a little note here of repetition. And then I've had a request from a teacher who has said that their class needs some help with tenses. So I'm going to write down tense. We're going to look particularly at holding the correct tense in a sentence. But don't worry about any of that. I'm here to help you and you're under the wing of my guidance as you think, jot and watch me do some demonstration writing. You're going to see inside my mind as I shape up the writing for success. Okay. Chunk 2 of Mouse for Sale. I'm going to start with writing some key ideas on my piece of paper so I don't lose my way. Mouse, I'm going to write that down, and it's important, I know I said it casually earlier, but it is important that we all agree names that are needed, and we know the mouse, I'm going to write that down so I don't forget, is called Snickers. That does make me laugh. Snickers is a boy, so we're going to refer to him as a he as well. And there are other visitors to the shop. So we might say they, and they are 2 boys. In fact, we could call them the 2 boys. And there's other visitors who come, so we'll be using the pronoun he and the pronoun they, and we know the mouse's name. We're going to write a 3rd person narrative so that we can join the story up together and it will have good cohesion. Okay, so jot along with me because it will help you when you write your chunk. So I've written down mouse. I'm going to write down pet shop. I'm going to write no one buys him. That's not very nice. That's given me a clue that I do want to create a little bit of negativity at times, even though it's quite a humorous film. I do feel sorry for Snickers that he's never chosen. So I'm going to start with Snickers. He's my main character. Snickers, and then I'm going to capture that idea, that kind of sad idea that he's not chosen. I like the word chosen. Was desperate to be chosen. Desperate to be chosen. Oh, full stop. That's a good starting sentence. I also want to tell the reader that lots of visitors go there and he still isn't chosen. Maybe I can start with the word many. Many visitors, customers would be better. And I'm going to drop an adjective there. Many new customers. Oh, customers. Yes. Oh, made a spelling mistake there. Customers. Yes. Don't worry if you make little mistakes like that, because that's why we reread. Many new customers visited the pet shop. I can use my but here because that's one of my writing challenges. Look, but. I can drop that conjunction just here, look, but. The mouse. I could put a really good adjective before the mouse. Sad. It's okay. I'm going to go to my thesaurus thinking board here. I'm going to write down sad, but I'm going to collect other words in that family with similar meanings. They might be more intense or less intense, but I'm going to choose the best word for the job. The sad mouse, the unfortunate mouse, the unlucky mouse, maybe. The lonely mouse, I like that, the lonely mouse. The solitary mouse. Homeless mouse. I'm not sure about that. I'm going to instantly reject that because he has got a home, but he wants to be in a loved home and specially chosen. I think I'm going to take the word lonely. I'm going to drop that adjective there, the lonely mouse. Okay. But the lonely mouse, it doesn't make sense. I need to carry on with that clause and make sure it's a chunk of sense. Oh, Mrs. C. But the lonely mouse could not, yes, don't be too chatty, could not entice anyone to take him home. Oh, poor Snickers. I'm going to reread that back. Snickers was desperate to be chosen. Many new customers visited the pet shop, but the lonely mouse could not entice anyone to take him home. Oh, that's a good start. I'm going to think about the next bit. The next bit is where we really see he's a little bit different. He has really oversized, I'm going to write that down, oversized ears. And that makes him a little bit different, and they're very large. Right, I'm going to now think about that. And his ears are big, and maybe they're the problem why he's not been chosen. I don't know. I'm going to put that down. He had a big problem. He had a big problem. He had a big problem. Oh, I could do repetition here with this up almost with the word problem or big. He had a big problem. You might have said another word for big. Huge. Well, that's good. You might have said a huge problem. And then I've repeated the word problem. I think I could do that again actually. He had a big problem. You might have said a huge problem, comma. I'm going to repeat that bit. You might have said a... I need another word for big now. I'm running out of ideas. Let me go to thesaurus thinking. Let me take in my looking eyes about what these ears look like, and I'm going to write down big to get me going. I know I'm not going to use that, but it's words like that. A big problem, an immense problem. Oh, that's a good one. A tremendous, enormous, enormous problem. A colossal problem. Colossal. Let's have another go at that. C. Be brave, Mrs. C. Colossal problem. Colossal. Yes, I think I've got it there. I've remembered how I remind myself to spell colossal. I always do a double S. I always think, is it double L, double S? It's double S because I think of supersize. Colossal is supersized. So I always put a double S. Colossal. Oh, I think I'm going to use that one. You might have said a colossal double S supersize problem. Oh dear. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a pause. Almost the reader could fill it in. Ellipsis. His ears. Yes. And then a colossal problem. His ears. It's jokey, it's humorous, but I do feel sorry for him because he's feeling lonely. Right. I am now going to try and make sure I hold a particular tense for this next bit. And I want to capture this idea that he tries to show his ears off. He shows them off. But it doesn't always work out for him. So instead of saying Snickers again, because I might be repeating myself, I'm going to say he. I'm going to drop in that pronoun. He tries. I think it's really important now that I write in the past tense to hold that. He tries to showcase. If I want to write in the past tense, he tried. Yes, Mrs. C. You need to think about holding the tense. He tried, that's better, to showcase them. He twitches them. Twitches, put it into the past tense. He twitched. Yes, that's better. He twitched them. He turns them. Put it into the past tense. He twitched them, he turned them. Yes, that ending on verbs, always pushing it into the past, that ed ending. He turned them, but he always, but he always, now I don't mean he, I mean his ears. I need to tell the reader that. So I'm going to take that out, but his ears always looked, well remembered. Look at that pattern coming down here across all these verbs here, the ed past tense ending. But his ears always looked oversized and a little bit, I'm not sure about the bit. Let me rub that out. And a little, let me go to my thesaurus thinking board. How am I going to end that? Let me rub those out. A little, maybe I do need the bit. Let me write bit here. And what could I end after that? A little bit awkward, awkward, tricky word, 2 W's in awkward, a little bit strange. I could use out of as a way to get into that ending, a little bit out of the ordinary, a little bit out of place. It's kind of chatty and a little, it's showing that the film has this lovely little gentle humorous undertone, a little bit awkward, I like out of place, because it's sort of a bit of a pun then, isn't it? Because he's trying to find a new place. It's just really gentle, but I like it. Looked oversized and a little out of place. I'm going to reread that back now. Check in I've held the tense correctly and it reads well. Okay, from the beginning. Here we go. Snickers was desperate to be chosen. Many new customers visited the pet shop, but the lonely mouse could not entice anyone to take him home. He had a big problem. You might have said a huge problem. You might have said a colossal problem. His ears. He tried to showcase them. He twitched them. He turned them. But his ears always looked oversized and a little out of place. I love this film. I cannot wait until you get your submissions into me. And you have got until 12:30, my gorgeous pen pushers, to get your writing to me. You can get it into me on Facebook, Jane Considine Education, on Twitter, Jane Considine, and some of you have found me on Instagram. Remember to always include your name. I am on the lookout for really good, cohesive, vivid writing, and make sure you don't forget your but sentence. Oh, I can't wait to read your work, and I hope some of you make it onto my celebration board. So I'll read your work at 12:30, and I'll see you back in the classroom tomorrow at 9:45. Thank you, everybody, my wonderful super sentence stackers. Goodbye.